Civ 7 must be a complete experience at launch. Let's take a look at the biggest stumbling blocks that the game must avoid if it's to do this, followed by some really unique features that Civ 7 should introduce to make it feel fresh and exciting. With Civ 7 launching on a range of platforms simultaneously, including the Nintendo Switch, which has vastly different capabilities to the average gamer's PC, Civ 7 has to be so careful that all players are getting a relatively bug-free experience at launch. Maybe I'm getting more miserable the older I get, but these days games seem more likely than ever to launch with lots of bugs, and anybody that played Civ 6 on consoles will tell you that it had some real issues when it came to those platforms, some of which I'm told still haven't been resolved. Of course there will be some teething issues, but providing a solid single and multiplayer experience to all players on day one is one hell of a challenge, but a challenge that Civ 7 has to overcome nonetheless. The game must also not feel light on content when it first releases, and this is so important. Now, I'm realistic enough to know that Civ 7's launch content will not match the quantity of the full Civ 6 experience with all its DLC. In fact, to the contrary, Civ 7 will have significant amounts of paid DLC that take it to that level over time. What Civ 7 must not do though is rely on the inevitable future DLC to bring it the depth that makes it feel like a complete experience. No, on launch Civ 7 needs plenty of new ideas. It needs unique gameplay features and civilizations to set it apart from its predecessor, and that leaves players satisfied that the base game is a quality, unique experience rather than an incomplete one. But what could these ideas be? For reference, Civ 6 set itself apart from Civ 5 through the introduction of gameplay features such as the district mechanics, which makes players plan out their cities more carefully, the inclusion of the Eureka system, which encourages players to focus on completing tasks to earn boosts towards techs and civics, and the addition of the religious victory, which opened up a new way for players to win. So what really cool features does Civ 7 need to include? In my recent trailer breakdown, we speculated that Civ 7 may have a greater focus on trade, exploration and infrastructure, making that an obvious area for development. The use of goods and resources is one area where I'd be shocked if we didn't see some changes, so could we see something similar to Millennia's goods system included in the game? Even more importantly though, I think a brand new economic victory type would be a perfect addition to this part of the game, and it seems a relatively realistic proposition too. The district mechanic should also take another step forward. I could see districts having features such as their own build queues and unique units, and hopefully, in my opinion at least, being visually more integrated into the city. Perhaps the biggest area for development though is the map and the look and feel of the game. As we've discussed before, it's likely that a lot of the heavy lifting for this will be done with the change to a more realistic art style, but there's lots more the game could do. I want Civ 7 to bring a map full of life, similar to what Ara History Untold promises to offer. Could we see wild animals roaming the map? Could traders and workers be significantly more visible in and around each city? And in line with a possible greater focus on trade and infrastructure, could we see more modes of transport like planes and trains in the late game? We may also get to see a greater variety of map terrain and more interactive map elements. The ability to use rivers to trade and move units would be fantastic. If Civ 7 can bring new ideas to the map like this, it would give it a fresh and exciting feel. That last suggestion about traversable rivers was shared by a subscriber a while back, so thanks to that viewer. If you want to get involved in the community, please feel free to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments, where I'm always active. For the civilizations, Civ 7 should have at least 20, if not more, very unique and diverse playable civs, which make the most of the game's new mechanics from launch. For me, the more distinct a civ and its playstyle is, the better, and I'd love this to be a key feature of the base game. We just can't be waiting for the DLC to get access to some of the most unique playstyles in the game, so from launch it would be cool to see a civ like Venice return with its unique playstyle from Civ 5, alongside the usual suspects that we all know will be there. We definitely also need a Yorkshire civ led by Sean Bean, which is in no way me being biased as a Yorkshireman. Seriously though, having a good number of unique civs is key to Civ 7 feeling like a complete, fresh and exciting experience at launch. Another thing Civ 7 needs to avoid doing is not improving the AI. I talked more about that in our last video, which you can watch by clicking on the link on screen now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you soon.